Hey guys, so on the door we have our coffee shop etiquette, which has 4 pointers of how to create a wonderful experience and vibe at the mug. It's really important for us to enforce these policies to make sure everybody is happy and has a great time with us. Rule number 1 for the mug. What is it?
Keep a calm and respectful vibe.
So if it gets busy in here, sometimes people tend to speak very loudly or cackle, or their children are devils. So if you hear, what are you going to do, Ariana?
Hello, what's going on? Hello?
Hi sir, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to let you know that we do try to keep a calm and respectful atmosphere here, so if you could keep it down a little bit, please.
Okay.
So rule number 2 is that children must stay with an adult at all times and refrain from touching our decor.
Okay, why do we need kids to stay with their parents? What if they're just sitting nicely on the swings and the parents are sitting nicely at a table? Why do they have to stay with their parents?
Well, because kids eventually go wild.
That's true. I've seen a kid face plant into our glass table. So kids are not allowed to sit at the swings without their parents. Let's give an example of when you should go over. And remember, never talk to the kids. Always speak to the parents. I'm a parent, just enjoying my coffee. Go. I don't care that my kid's standing on the swing and could get hurt and sue Lady in the Mug. I don't care that my kid is touching things and they could break. So Ariana, whatever your name is, how would you go over to the parent and politely ask them to keep their child by them and keep the volume down? So remember, moms are psychotic, so you don't want to ever say anything that makes it like they're not a good parent. So you do not want to say, hey, do me a favor if you could, just watch your child. No. What you're going to say, always for the safety of your child, hey, we're walking around with hot food and drinks. We don't want them to get hurt. So for the safety of your child, would you mind just keeping them close to you? We just want them to be okay.
Yeah, what if the dad?
Or parent, or dad, or grandma, or auntie, or uncle, whatever. Go to the adults and let them know for the safety of their child, we just want them to keep an eye on them and keep them close. Now, we always want to give them like 5 minutes to correct the situation on their own. A lot of the times they will. They'll tell their child, come here, stop yelling, blah, blah, blah. We want to give them the opportunity to correct it before we have to step in. But after 5 minutes, I know it's awkward, but you have to go do it. All right, Ariana, what are you doing? What's rule number 3 under coffee shop etiquette?
No outside food or drinks or beverages.
So what would you do if someone was sitting here and all of a sudden busted out something not from us?
Politely let them know about rule number 3 and that they can go ahead and sit in our common area right out there.
Yep, the shared patio, they could sit there and eat whatever they want. Water is always okay. Water bottles, any water is okay. But no outdoor food or drink, anything with a label. So for rule number 1 with the volume and if people are being loud, you want to give them like 5 minutes to maybe get off their phone call, stop watching the video. Half the time it'll resolve itself before we have to go get involved. So give it 5 minutes before correcting people on the volume and how loud they're being. For number 2 with the children, you give 5 minutes for the adult to correct the child's behavior. Hopefully they get the child to come back over to them or stop touching things. And after 5 minutes, that's when we intervene. For number 3, with outside food or drink, you wait 0 minutes. You immediately go over to them as soon as you see an outside bag or label, anything that's not ours, you immediately go over and say, hey, I'm so sorry, we actually don't allow outside food or drinks. People will get upset, but it's really important that you don't waste any time because they're gonna set up their whole thing, they're gonna start eating, and it's gonna get more and more annoying the more that you wait. As soon as you see outside food or drinks, besides water, you go tell them immediately, I'm sorry, it's our policy, no outside food or drinks. Last but not least, rule number 4 for coffee shop etiquette is what, Ariana?
Our seats are reserved for coffee lovers only.
Coffee lovers only. So what does that mean?
So if a guest comes in and like they sit down and they just chilling and they haven't ordered anything, you give them 15 minutes. And to make sure you give them 15 minutes, you'll set a timer. This button will increase and start. Or when I start to use the timer.
If they don't know how to use a timer, I can't help them. So set the timer for 15 minutes, and then what happens after 15 minutes?
You have to go up to them and you ask them if they're waiting for anybody or if you can get anything started for them. And if they say no to that, then you tell them that our seats are reserved for our coffee lovers only. And that if they'd like, they can sit in the common area outside over there.
Okay. So why don't we just say, hey, our seats are reserved? Why do you start with those questions?
Because sometimes they may be waiting on someone.
Okay, good answer. Okay, so if a guest is seated already and waiting on their stuff or they got their stuff, they're gonna ask you to do random things for them. It's not that we don't wanna help them, but sometimes we're really busy. So the goal is to help them get whatever they're asking, but let them know for next time where it is so they can do it themselves. For example, ma'am, ask me the thing that I told you to ask me.
Can I get a glass of water?
Absolutely, it'd be my pleasure to get you water. I would go to the water station, get her the water. I would not tell her, hey, it's over there, there's a water station, get it yourself. I would get it for her. Here you go, ma'am. And just so you know, for next time, the water is right around the corner in our water station. Same would happen for sugars. If they're like, hey, can you grab me
Sugar.
Okay. Then I would go to the boat, grab the sugar for them, bring it to them, and say, hey, just so you know, for next time, the sugar's right over there on the boat. Take whatever you need.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye. All right, guys, we love our furry friends here at the Mug, but they're not allowed inside. It's a health code violation. People could be allergic. Their hair does get in stuff. It could get in someone's food or drink. So unless it's a service animal, not an emotional support animal. So what you're gonna do, if I'm sitting here inside with my pet, I'm gonna go over politely to the guest and say, hi, sorry to bother you and sorry to interrupt. I just wanted you to know that our policy is we don't allow pets inside. We love our furry friends, but unfortunately it's a health code violation. Now, based on their response, that's gonna determine where we go with that next. So if they say, oh, what am I saying? Yeah, it's a service animal. It's a service animal. You say, okay, but is it an emotional support animal? Because you are not legally allowed to ask what's wrong with them, but you can ask if it's an emotional support animal. Those are not covered, so they gotta go. All right, guys, if you notice a guest is at the counter and you saw the dogs outside, offer, hey, would you like a puppuccino? And always bring them out a glass of water for their puppy. Puppuccinos are 75 cents. So if you see the dog outside, try to get it at the counter so you can add it to their order. If they've already ordered and paid and they're sitting and then they ask you for a puppuccino, then don't charge them. Just let them know for next time. And the little cups will be in this cabinet under the drip. And you use these little cups and just fill it up. So if they're at the register, you charge them. If they come in after they paid, just bring it to them for free and let them know for next time.